like ballet in a phone booth or dominoes on Mars. Is it wild and the strange truth that ain't shooting for the stars? Red time star is overdue, so settle for the night, 'cause we're flying backwards into fear. So pull the curtain tight, put it tight, put it tight, put it tight. All of the days they're gone. Your feet is sinking down, down from all the rain. Thinking you're bulletproof, you dodge between the chains. One speaker splash to sonic yellow true. Yes, if they're death and touch on stew. Their time stop is overdue. So settle for
Three, two. Terry, Sean,
Yeah.
welcome everyone to the Shouting Hour.
Liam,
episode
Terry.
9.
Liam,
Liam, where are you?
I'm on a beach, man. I'm on a beach with baby turtles. See, we had baby
Very nice.
goats a couple weeks ago with Theo, right? So now we have baby turtles, and you can kind of see them if I get out of the way.
Yeah, they
so
look
there's a
good.
you know.
theme. There's a theme
it's
here.
a baby animal theme, yeah. I want to get some alpacas, man, or llamas.
You-
Those things have crazy teeth from birth,
You could get. Why do you want something with crazy teeth from birth?
right?
How
Yeah.
about goldfish?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Oh,
That's
hey,
crazy.
yeah. We can do.
Listen, by the way, I don't know about you, Liam, but I said to Sean, who caught 3 salmon in Ucluelet.
I heard 5.
Well, okay, never mind.
two
It doesn't-
rock
it doesn't
bass,
matter.
3
It
salmon.
doesn't
Come
matter
on.
because he said he would send photos and he didn't send photos. Anybody can say they've caught salmon.
Oh, come on. Do you want me to go up to? You know what? I'll go up to the freezer and I'm going to drag
Just
down a
hold-
couple
no,
carcasses.
No,
What do you
just
want?
hold it up. Old school.
Okay.
Have we got a guest?
That now you've got a macro of the turtle behind. We have none other than a good buddy and pal of ours, Steve Marriner, from Monkeyjunk fame. Probably has a holiday named after him and from his hometown in Ottawa. Is a longtime friend of mine. Terry, you've known him for a while, and Steve has agreed
Actually,
to come on.
I'll correct you there. I've played him many times.
Many
in fact.
times.
But the problem is we're on opposite ends of the country, and when I see him in a crowded room, it's always hello. He's always with friends. We have mutual friends. I can't say that I've actually spent time with him, and this is good. I like this.
Oh yeah, this is great. Well, then you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Well, welcome to the show, Steve.
Gentlemen, pleasure to see you both.
Yeah, it's great.
All three is.
It's great to see you too, man. Where are you at? Are you in Toronto?
Yeah, I'm just at home in Toronto and just taking it easy and got my feet up. You know.
All right. So let
like
me
pretty much
ask you.
everybody.
Let me ask you what the first 6 months of this year have been like for you, your family, and just around you.
Yeah. Well, the year started great. You know, we had a great New Year's Eve gig with Colin James at Casino Rama, and there was like 4,000 people there, and it was a wicked show, and started off the year just right. Then I went to Jamaica for a week for a gig for a little blues festival in Montego Bay, so that was not so bad. And then at the end of February, I started a tour with Colin out west, and then we went into the States at the very beginning of March when there was still under 300 cases of COVID-19, and less than a week later, they shut the whole thing down and sent us home. We got home on March the 13th, and we quarantined for 14 days, stayed inside. We went out to our yard, and that's it. We had people delivering groceries for us and stuff, and Paul Reddick was nice enough to come by. He lives down the street, so he was our booze runner. He was our rum runner.
That's essential.
Yeah, absolutely. So we fortunately had lots of great friends help us out for the first couple weeks, and then as soon as we could, we my partner Jackie and I, we went to her parents' place out in Northumberland County, which is an hour and a bit outside to the east of Toronto.
So
Fortunately-
farming land.
Yeah.
Yeah, her family's got an old farmhouse and 5 acres, so
Perfect.
much easier to self-isolate when you got that kind of space, you know. So we were there for almost 2 months, and then I guess just around mid-May we started coming back to Toronto, and she went back to work, and I just started doing some home recordings and stuff like that.
Now, I got a question for you. When I reached out
Yeah.
to you not too long ago, I caught you at your pharmacy job in Winnipeg, and lo and behold, there's more than one Steve in the country.
That's it.
and-
Yeah.
And I called the Steve Danger of Winnipeg, and I thought it was you with your day job, and I completely lost my biscuits thinking, how can this guy be such a talented frontman and sideman all his career and be a pharmacist? So Terry, and this was a sober call, Terry. This is right in the middle of the day. So anyway,
Let
yeah, you
me
were the
explain that one. So for a long time on Facebook, it was fashionable to use your middle name as your last name, and I didn't mind doing that because it kind of kept some strangers away. For a long time, I was weird about having strangers on Facebook as friends, so I went by my middle name, Greg, Steve Gregg, Gregg.
hence the guy that I called.
Right, so there actually is a Steve Gregg. That's his actual name, and he's a drummer in Winnipeg and plays with our buddy Andrew Neville in the Poor Choices, among other people. And we're friends, you know. So I'm sure, Sean, at some point you just put us both in your phone
Yeah.
that way, and anyway.
it-
So it's
That was one of the
hilarious.
most
It's-
sobering moments for musicians. I was like, how could this guy become a pharmacist in this short duration? I was like, man, I really got to get my stuff together. So
It's a day job. It's called a day
Yes.
job.
yes, yeah. What the hell's a day job? This is it.
I know I haven't had one in 20 years.
We've asked you to bring along a couple of tunes, and I'm wondering how much music you've been making lately.
Well, I've been making a lot of music. I haven't been doing tons of writing. I've used the pandemic shutdown as an opportunity to sharpen my engineering skills, like audio engineering and stuff.
Oh,
So I've
Are
been
you
doing
listening?
a lot of home recordings, you know.
Okay. What kind of gears? What do you mean engineering skills? Did you go out and buy reel-to-reel tape recorders or what?
Well, I didn't, but my good friend Jimmy Boskill did. He went and got a 1953 Ampex.
am I the only one moving? Wow.
So he went and got that
if-
that old tape machine. You know.
Terry, you're still animated, Terry. We can see you moving.
No, I lost you all. I was the only one on the screen.
Oh, no, we're all here.
Now
So-
we're here.
Okay, so Jimmy Boskill, who's been playing with the Sheepdogs, has for the last few years, he's got a big old rig.
Hold on.
Hold on, time out for Terry.
Every time you say that anywhere near Jim Cuddy, he says, no, he's with the Jim Cuddy band. And we lend him to Sheepdogs.
Okay, all right.
There's a talent tug of war. Now,
Yeah.
now
Imagine that being fought over by two of Canada's biggest bands.
Yes.
Amazing. So yeah, well, hey, deserves it. Jimmy's the most talented musician I've ever encountered, and yeah, so he's amassed a collection of really vintage recording gear. He's got that Ampex tape machine. He's got a Bogan tube mixer from the 50s,
Oh.
and he's just bought a collection of old ribbon mics, a couple RCAs, a couple Sures, and halfway through June, we did a session down in Port Hope and recorded this way and made a record for a harmonica player from out here named Dave Mowat. And it's super duper old school. It sounds like 1954. It's really cool.
Wow, that's
Wow.
amazing.
So, but other than that, I've been the big project I've been working on is a live record for Paul Reddick. I've been playing guitar with Paul for about 5 years now, and last November, I accompanied him on a little tour in Europe, in Italy, and we had an Italian rhythm section, and it was me and my bandmate Tony D from Monkeyjunk on guitars. We had a Monkeyjunk gig in Switzerland, and then Paul met us there, and we went down to Italy together. and we did a tour. And one night we recorded one of the shows. And when I had, a bunch of time fall in my lap, I asked for them to send me the raw files, and I mixed it, and it ended up being a live record. And it's going to be released, I think, in August, and it's called Alive in Italia.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good on you, man. Holy smokes. Paul Reddick is, what's it like traveling? Because I know you guys have been buddies for years. And it's two harp players, but you're not doing the role. I mean, Paul Reddick is like, you don't need I grew up having him as an idol of mine, when I lived in Toronto. Terry, do you remember the Sidemen back in the, and they're still on, but
I've been playing Paul Reddick, any tunes that I can get my hands on for a long, long time, and I've never met him. I just love his music.
he's incredible.
Well, he's a really incredible guy. We've been friends. I've met Paul when I was 16 at the Harvest Jazz and Blues Festival. So that was 2001. It was right after 9/11 happened. I remember, and we met there and became instant friends, and stayed friends over the years. And yeah, we've co-written a lot of songs with Paul for Monkeyjunk, and he needed a guitarist for a tour in 2015, and we had some downtime with Monkeyjunk, so I volunteered, and we went out to Alberta, and that was the beginning of our playing together. And then I moved to Toronto shortly after that, and been here ever since. And
Hey,
yeah,
when people come looking for your services,
yes.
do they ask for, is it harp they're thinking about? Is it guitar? Is it everything else that you do?
It really depends. I've learned a few different instruments. I do a lot of harmonica stuff. I play harmonica with Colin James when it's his full band, but he does a trio format where it's Colin, Chris Cadell on rhythm guitar, and myself on harmonica, bass, and some keys.
I didn't know that. How do you play harp and bass?
Well, I've got a stand. Have you ever seen my little setup with Monkeyjunk? I've got a harp mic that goes on a straight stand like this.
Yeah.
And goes into an amp, so I can kind of play and step on the bass of it and play like that. And it's a little awkward, but I've been doing it for a while now with Monkeyjunk. So
how heavy is the bass? How heavy is it? Like a 50-pound weight you got on the bass, or what?
Well, I've gotten used to doing it with a regular straight stand. But originally, I had a guy make me a bass that was made out of a barbell plate, and so it was like 40 pounds. Yeah.
I knew you guys were going to geek out. I just
sorry.
Shop talk.
First things first. What's your first tune?
Well, I thought I'd do one that I wrote in December with Tom Wilson and Jesse O'Brien in Hamilton, and it's called Coal Mine.
Beautiful. Juno winning, Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Can we hear it? Do you feel like playing that now? Yeah,
Sure.
Here comes the guitar. Perfect.
Yeah, I got it. Just here.
I love that.
What is that beautiful instrument?
A Gibson J185. It's a jumbo, just not the biggest one. But
With the tail fins. Good.
yeah, we got sound. You hear me?
Sounds great.
Yeah, you're good.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
All right.
I can't hear her calling from down in this hole, where every day turns to night and every night turns cold. I can't see the sun, I don't see no sign, and I need some relief before I lose my mind. My baby, oh my, this ain't no holy road. It's stone salvation and I'm sinking low, digging in a coal mine looking for gold. My baby, come save my soul. I'm digging in a coal mine looking for gold. I'm digging in a coal mine. darkness where there ain't no stars. There's no escape from love when you're covered in scars. Got one foot in the gutter, I'm a mile from hell. And I've been digging this hole from the day I fell. My baby, oh my, this ain't no holy road. It's stone salvation and I'm sinking low, digging in a coal mine, looking for gold. My baby, come save my soul. I'm digging in a coal mine, looking for gold. I'm digging in a coal mine, looking for gold. One man walks so far from home, and I'm a man who's lost everywhere I go. My baby, oh my, this ain't no holy road. It's stone salvation and I'm sinking low, digging in a coal mine, looking for gold. My baby, come save my soul. I'm digging in a coal mine, looking for gold. I'm digging in a coal mine, looking for gold. I'm digging in a coal mine, looking for gold.
Yes, man. Nice pipes, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Ooh.
All right.
Very nice.
Hey, did you just win? You just wrote that with Tom Wilson, who just won a Juno last week, right?
Yeah. I went. So it's funny, kind of. I got a story for everything. I hope you're okay with that. So in November, I was producing a record from for a guy from Colorado named AJ Fullerton. I brought him up to Toronto, and we used a great band. And we were at the session, and Tom heard that we were doing this thing with, and Jesse O'Brien was on keys, who always plays with Tom and I play with in Colin James's band. Yeah. Jesse brings Tom to the studio, and I guess a while ago we had talked about getting together to write, and he goes, "Hey Marriner, how's that song that we never wrote?" And I was like, so I was like, well, I'm waiting on you, man. Give me a date. He's really busy guy. So
yeah.
Anyway, we went back and forth. I went down in December, and this is what came out, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. That's a beauty.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You can never have enough songs in your bag.
No, it's true enough. It's true. And writing has always been the most challenging thing for me in music. You know, I mean, I love to play. I've always been an instrumentalist first, but to write songs that's the big challenge.
Hey, Steve, you're a road warrior, road dog. Do you miss being out there and playing?
Like you wouldn't believe, man. Like it's just like.
Hey, are you kidding me? Have you seen this guy's thread? Social media weave that he's woven. Holy smokes!
Oh,
you must be dying.
Well, you know, it's kind of a dichotomy. On the one hand, I'm really feel great and fortunate to have so much time with my partner and be home and lead a normal life of being able to, like, you know, cook her dinner and be home all the time and see her. On the other hand, yeah, I miss so much traveling. You know, I love getting to travel all over Canada and other places and, you know, see friends and other musicians. And I mean, festival hangs are just my favorite. You know, Terry, like, you know, we've hung out a few times at the Edmonton Folk Festival. Yeah. It's just, you know, that completely embodies my favorite things about touring and getting to see
right now,
and, you know.
this weekend, this Sunday, right now, today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, would have been the Vancouver Island Music Festival, Doug Cox's gathering
Right,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you have no idea who you're going to see in the smallest of settings, surrounded by the forest, just like gnomes, like fairies. Great players from around the world.
Yeah.
I know. Unfortunately, I had to miss it last summer. Colin was booked to play out there, but Monkeyjunk was also booked in Ottawa, so I couldn't. I still haven't figured out how to clone myself, but
You got the time, man.
Yeah, I know. That's my next project.
Okay. Now we've been
But,
yapping, but we haven't heard from Liam. Liam, what do you want to ask? You got a question here?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, I wanted to a little bit nerd out about the tape thing, right? Because like 5-track tape is not something that is very usual these days, right? Like people are not like, hey, I want to go make a record 5-track tape. That's what I want to do it on. No, most people are absolutely fearful of that. But how does that, how does that change performance, right? Because like, people aren't necessarily worried about or allowed to even overdub. Like overdubs are not really a thing on that format. Right?
No, it's impossible. In fact, it's just
Exactly.
So when you put your mind around that, I mean, okay. So the music we've recorded so far is Chicago blues of that era, 50s
Nice.
Chicago blues, and each of the people on the session is a big student of that genre. So it really gave us an opportunity to apply the knowledge that we've gained from studying all those old records, Muddy, Howlin' Wolf, all that great stuff.
I mean, amazing records, and they could those have even been made now and have as much impact?
So here's that's a good
That's tricky.
question.
I know it's tricky.
I don't think I can answer that, but what I can tell you from my own experience is that we all approached the recordings that we made with such discipline and tact, I guess, musical tact, where I was playing drums on the session, and anytime I thought I should put a fill in, I just didn't and just kept the groove going.
Right.
And there was not a lot of extraneous playing. Like people really played parts, and we played at a volume that even if we weren't wearing headphones, we could have heard each other in the studio. Like I was playing across the room from Jimmy, and I could hear his upright bass even though I was playing drums. I played really, really dynamically, and everyone did. Everyone played.
Everybody's placed around the microphones. That's your dynamic. That's your sound, right? And you got Willie Dixon on upright bass. Very likely wrote the song.
Oh, absolutely. He wrote so many blues classics. And so just to be part of that kind of experiment, really, and
Nice.
see the results. I mean, eventually I'll be able to play you guys some stuff, but
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
The few
What, like
people I've
next
shown
week?
it to could be. I'm not sure exactly what the artist's plans are yet, but I know we're all very proud of it, and the few people who I've shown it to, other musician friends, have been really impressed with the sound and the character. Everything.
Is it faster?
Is
it faster? Like the tempos?
No. I mean, is it like, is it a faster day? I
Process?
mean, yeah,
yeah.
faster
Like
process.
we did two 8-hour sessions, and at the end of that, we had 14 tracks.
That's what is wrong with modern times? That's what I'm saying. You either have the plane or you don't, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we weren't playing super complex forms. It was traditional blues.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying this to blow smoke, but we mostly got them in 1 or 2 takes because that process also forces you to accept what you've done and let go of what could have been. There's no overdubs. There's no rethinking it.
Yeah. No baggage.
No.
No baggage.
And it's mixed on the fly, right? There's no mixing even. So the engineer gets a mix together. We play a bit, and then the engineer monitors the mix. And then when he's good with it, he rolls and we commit it to tape, and then it's done. And there are some things you can do in post, like I received the tracks and I, put some compression and EQ. EQ does an amazing thing to these recordings. It really, it's the difference between hearing the upright bass or not hearing the upright bass, and you can greatly reduce the tape hiss that's inherent with that kind of recording. So it's really amazing what you can do with a little bit of modern and a lot of
Okay,
vintage.
we are not
amazing.
gathered here to talk about frickin' tape hiss. Okay,
You know what? I was just gonna. That was a good lead. I was gonna ask him where he gets the tape. Come on, Terry.
Wait till we start talking about tone. It's all over after that.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
No one will watch this show.
So,
that's for sure.
so Steve, do you want to play us another tune because we're gonna geek out large
Yeah, sure.
if we don't stop. Usually Terry pulls it away, right? I've done your job for once, Terry.
It's-
It's balance, my friend. And when we come back after this tune, I'm going to ask everybody on the screen if they have heard the new Bob Dylan album. Sorry, and what you think of Mr. Dylan and his 39th album.
Okay.
But the tune first.
Well, this is a tune I wrote last year as a sort of tip of the hat to John Prine, and I'm so sad that he's a victim of this pandemic. I've been in love with his music ever since I heard it, and so I was thinking of John when I wrote this one. It's called No More Nashville.
Thanks, Steve.
Sun is shining on the Cumberland. Sad songs and waltzes in the air. Here I am pining and wondering if she'll ever make it there. Monday night at 3rd and Lindsley, I was supposed to ask her for her hand. And now there's not a bone within me that doesn't ache to be her man. No more Nashville, memories that never were. No more Nashville, at least not for me and her. Party people burn up Broadway, filled with joy and alcohol. I wish I could have took her dancing, wrote our names up on the wall. Ghosts of giants fill the rhyming, angel voices all around. It never fails to make me cry when I think of how I let her down. No more Nashville, memories that never were. No more Nashville, at least not for me and her. No more Nashville, at least not for me and her.
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Oh.
guys. Thank you.
Whew.
I like that voice, by the way. I like
Thank you,
that
Terry.
voice.
I know you
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
pipes is sounding good.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
Let me ask this a couple of things. One is the new Dylan album has smacked me straight between the eyes. I played the Goodbye Jimmy Reed song.
Uh-huh.
I was flying. The tracks that are on there are unbelievable. I just kind of wonder, it's his 39th album. Some people fade after 39 years. He's done 39 albums. I kind of wonder if that truly is his legacy. Starting with you, Steve.
Well, I feel embarrassed to admit I haven't heard it yet, but Paul Reddick actually said that I must listen to it, and I been busy with stuff, but I will absolutely check it out. But what can you say about Bob Dylan? I mean, the guy has managed to stay relevant for the past 5 decades, 6 decades. He's going into his 6th decade as a seminal songwriter. So it's I'm not surprised that this record is great.
But hey, Steve, the single.
Yeah. Oh, the 17, right? I have the a murder most foul.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's got. Well, I suppose at his age and what he's already accomplished, he doesn't care about something being 320. He's going to do what he wants to do. He's made that evident.
No 320.
No.
It feels like closure. That last song, Murder Most Foul, feels like closure. Like if he left now, it would be okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
That's the vibe I got off those Johnny Cash records that Rick Rubin produced. You kind of felt like that was the button.
I think they both knew. Yeah.
Yeah. He was sort of like, if you follow Rick Rubin's podcast, not Revisionist History, but he's got one called Broken Records that he does with Malcolm Gladwell. He was just kind of a fly on the wall. I mean, yes, he's an incredible producer, but he's this Rick Rubin for the end of Johnny Cash's career was just right place, right time, and just the oddest pairing that happened to have worked. With that.
So Sean, have you had a chance to hear that album?
No, I was hoping that we'd change topics because my dad.
Right here, this is it.
We're gonna have to do some homework because I haven't heard it either, and I feel devastated.
That's great. I'll tell you what record I bought last week, or what record my partner bought. She bought a record called there you go. An artist named Lizzo, Grammy Award winning.
Yeah, Lizzo.
Yeah. And we listened to that record and it literally blew my brain apart. And then I said, Dad, I'll make you a trade. You take this Lizzo album. My dad's 76, and we'll take your Bob Dylan album. And he never traded us the Bob Dylan, but he took our Lizzo album on the road. We had to have him stop at a gas station, leave it with the gas station attendant, which he didn't want to do because if you've seen the album cover, she's naked. A very large African-American R&B soul singer is naked on the album. And my dad, UVic professor at 76, walks into the gas station and gives it to the attendant. And he was devastated. He was so embarrassed. He's like, hey, can you give this to this? My son is coming in the next hour. So that's my story.
That's great, man. That's a great story.
Oh man! So everyone got some island time. I mean, you guys live on the island, but Terry, you're on another island, and I was on another island last week. Gabriella and Steve spends a lot of time on Salt Spring, where you are right now, right?
Salt Spring. I've never been to the studio. Manx Marriner.
That's where we made it, Terry. We made it at Harry's place right there on Salt Spring.
I know. And thing about Harry is that he's a one-man band, as you know, and so he has to make room for you and others. But you're a great fit, hand in glove.
Well, Harry was he was the first person to employ me in a really professional sense. He actually made me he suggested I drop out of university and go on the road with him, and I did.
Nice.
And,
That's good.
Wow.
So we toured around together for like 3 years in 2005, 6, 7, and then I left and made my own stuff and did Monkeyjunk and everything. And a couple years ago, I guess it was New Year's Day 2018, he called me up and he's like, "Hey man, let's make that record. It's time. we should make that record. We talked about it, over a decade, and then he said, let's do it. When can you come out? And we both looked at our schedules, and we're like, oh, June? Is that good? Like, it took us 6 months to get together, and then the record was done by November, and it came out last April. So it was really satisfying to, after all the history and all the traveling we've done together, it was very satisfying to write songs together and to make an album together, where it was a true collaboration,
And that's like a rite of passage, I was going to say, too, for a musician. I haven't recorded on Salt Spring, but Salt Spring is a legendary place in Canada for iconic musicians to sort of hide out.
And it's magic. I love it. It's my favorite place in Canada.
Oh, man. Well, you're lucky to have made a record there, man. Terry, what are you doing? You're working on your fishing? Your
Rod together.
Okay. Did you get your license?
While you guys are talking, I want to do a speed round if it's okay with you guys. Here's a speed round to two harp players. I never get two harp players together. So I just first response.
Okay.
The best live harp player you've ever seen, Sean.
Don't say Sean.
No, it's not going to say the best live harp player I've ever seen. Canadian would be Paul Reddick, easily, hands down.
And otherwise, anywhere else?
Live. No, everybody I love is dead. I'm dead. I'm thinking about live records. I can name you a zillion live records, but you go, Steve.
Live, Kim Wilson from the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and,
wow,
that's a good call.
and the now deceased Paul DeLay from Portland, Oregon. But I saw him at the Rainbow in Ottawa in about 2000. I was about 15, I think.
Wow.
So Paul DeLay is hands down the best chromatic player I've ever seen in person. And Kim Wilson's just powerful harmonica player, probably ever.
Kim Wilson, whose dog is that?
That's Sean.
Terry, can you beat that dog lightly? So Kim Wilson through. Okay, Terry, you go ahead. You're doing speed round.
No, speed round. What kind of harp do you play, Sean?
Right now I'm playing. Hold on, let me go grab them.
Even know. What are you playing, Steve? What kind of harp?
I just at the beginning of the pandemic, I got endorsed by Seidel Harmonicas out of Germany, and I play the vintage 1847 Seidel.
Cool.
When they say vintage, it's a repro?
Yeah, it's they call it vintage because it uses wood as opposed to more modern materials. A lot of harmonicas these days are plastic or a composite, and they make it like more old school style harmonica with a wood comb in the middle.
Which ones are you playing now?
Seidel.
I don't even know what those ones are. Do you know do you know Andrew Zajac in Kingston, Ontario?
Eking out again.
You can what he builds and he takes the Marine Band Deluxe as the harp that I've been playing, but I shipped them to Andrew, who's in Kingston, Ontario.
I know his name for sure.
And he's been fixing and tweaking my harps for the last 10 years.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard his name around. I've never met him though.
But he uses plastic composite, which may or may not be your thing.
Help me, Liam. He's going into plastic now. We can't if we start.
He loves his plastics. He really does.
The greatest single is your last question. The greatest single harp solo you've ever heard on record.
Oh my God! What?
Oh, that's.
There's got to be a million by Jerry Portnoy.
Well, Jerry Portnoy is great, but for me, Blue Lights by Little Walter, it's an instrumental but really, Little Walter's Roller Coaster is probably for me the top thing that ever happened for harmonica.
God.
John,
I'd say I'm a rhythm player, so I'd always say Sonny Terry, anything that Sonny Terry did, especially the record that's right behind me, the self-titled Brown album. I'm a rhythm player, not a lead player. So why do you got to put us on the spot? Single greatest harp solo? That's like asking, what's your favorite guitar solo in the world? Like,
Eric Clapton, the celebration for Bob Dylan. Don't think twice. It's all right. That solo right there. That's it.
oh my God! See, this is all right. Come on, Terry. Come
That's
on.
just too hard to answer. There's such a collection of great solos. I mean, certainly Kim Wilson, if you've ever seen him live, does this really extended, wicked, fast harp solo that is similar to like Jay Giles' band Whammer Jammer, but
Oh yeah.
recorded a couple different ways under different titles over the years by him or the T-Birds, and it's like a fast boogie harmonica thing that combines really blistering leads with really amazing rhythm. And anyhow, there's I don't know, it's too many. There's too many. What are you doing?
But Kim Wilson, put like you talking post Thunderbirds or during, because this is new to me. I didn't know that you were a Kim Wilson fan of that degree.
You might be the only harmonica player who doesn't know that about me.
Well, I don't. Maybe we don't talk about harp players. Maybe we're talking about B3 players.
Okay. Oh, one more thing.
I
one more thing.
rarely talk harmonica with other
Liam,
harmonica players.
Liam, don't let the bell on this.
Yep.
Listen, here's the deal. You guys have toured together and been in the same room together and actually have played together. I believe, Sean, you invited Steve to come on stage and jam with you. What's it like when we know what guitarists will do? We know that. We know all that stuff. Two harp players. Do they do call and response? Do they do trade fours? What do they do?
I don't. You know what? We've done a couple. We've done a couple gigs together. We did the one that comes to mind. I could have the wrong auditorium, but I think it was in Kingston. Do you remember when we did
theater? Yeah, the Grand Theater.
At the Grand Theater, and we did that. What was that tune that you guys did? And we came up for an encore with you guys. And
Have Love Will Travel by the Sonics.
have love, will travel. So, and then all we do, I mean, my thing is I don't like being on the stage with more than one harp player because I find that frequency is going to pull all the cats out of all the alleyways onto the stage.
I tend to agree, but I've had, sorry to keep going back to Paul Reddick, but
See?
he and I sometimes when we play together, we'll do what we call the harp chili cook-off, where we both play, and it's usually over something like a train beat, and it's a bit of a weaving in together, or sometimes I'll break the band down, and I'll cover the bottom and just do the train chugging rhythm, and he'll flutter around, and then he'll do that, and I'll go up and down, So there's been lots of jams like that with harp players over the years, and my thing I like to do is if there's going to be two of us, I usually like to hold the bottom end down and
Yes,
keep
that's
rhythm going.
yeah, that's what you got to do.
We're talking about holding bottom ends right now, okay? We're going to move on. Enough of that.
Terry, you just asked.
Liam, you got
Man,
it?
I just want to hear more tunes, man. I just want to hear more tunes. And you know what? Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious, like, what you have there behind you in terms of if you've been able to host any parties with all those martini glasses behind you and all that fancy.
Oh man,
China.
There. This is my partner Jackie is a interior decorrator, so
there you go.
There you go.
Have a really beautiful looking home.
I thought that looked like a good place for a musician.
Hey, Steve, what's the wine you're drinking back there?
This here.
Yep.
This is a Sangiovese, Italian red.
Nice.
And it's, you know what, right now at the LCBO, it's from the Fantini winery, and it's super cheap, but it doesn't taste like it. It's like a $9 wine, but it's delicious.
Wow.
A Grenache Syrah Mourvedre from Barche Brothers in the Okanagan.
Good Lord.
You win.
Terry always wins, man. Terry, I'm on a 2-day fast, so I'm not drinking shit.
Well, I'm still on the CERB, and the government the handout doesn't allow for fancy wine purchases. So anyhow,
tune.
The tune I'd like to play for you is a tune that Terry, do you remember the family Brown?
Sure.
Right. So Tracy Brown married a fellow named Randall Prescott, who played in the band for a long time, and they have two wonderful kids who are my dear friends, Kelly and Kaylin.
Yeah.
Kaylin Prescott is amazing songwriter and producer, and this is a song of his that when I first heard it, I thought it was an old Dylan tune that I'd never heard. or like an old folk. It sounds like a classic folk song that I'd known my whole life, but it was his song. So it's called "Long Way Down." All right.
Steve Marriner.
All right. Well, Louis loves liquor, a 40 a day, and Jenny's in rehab, addicted to yay. Sometimes some people need someone or something to fight. Yeah, and Joe loves to gamble more than he's got. He barely breaks even, more often than not. He knows when he's wrong, but he don't know how to get right. You can climb it all until you finally fall. You better pray for the ground, 'cause it's a long way down. Well, the light's on at Louis. He's just waking up, a stiff drink in the morning from an old coffee cup. It makes him feel better, so he keeps telling lies to himself. Oh, but he still plays guitar when people come over. An old classic car without any motor. He says life's like cards. He's just playing the hand he was dealt. You can climb it all until you finally fall. You better pray for the ground, 'cause it's a long way down. She says she's always tired, and only coke makes her wake up. She can't leave her room without any makeup, so Jenny prepares for a night that she'll soon forget. And poor Jenny can't swim, but she's out in the deep end, high in the clubs when she should be sleeping. Time after time, and line after line she regrets. You can climb it all until you finally fall. You better pray for the ground, 'cause it's a long way down. Joe's wife doesn't join him down at the casino. She says when he bets, he ain't the man she knows. Broke and alone, she wasn't there when he came home. So he went back for a game and asked Finney to spot him. He busted so hard, then his boys, they shot him. It says, here lies a dreamer, written across his tombstone. You can climb it all until you finally fall. You better pray for the ground, 'cause it's a long way down.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful song.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. very
Wow.
much.
Hey, Steve. I bet you Terry's going to say the same. I've known you for a long time, man. I want to hear you do a record like that. I would love to hear you do a record of songs like that. That is a beautiful voicing and pairing for your soul, and the way you were playing in the harp. That was amazing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I know it's going to be so I'm taking stock of all the recordings I've already made that haven't been released, and at some point I'm going to put a record out. I was saying to Terry earlier, I'm just not sure what the strategic move is right now as far as releasing a record goes, but that's what I'm spending most of the time on.
There's no
right now,
strategic.
There's nothing. There's no. Yeah.
Okay.
As Popeye would say, there's no strategy.
Just to put them out as singles for the time being, but that's going to resonate with a lot of people, my man. That's beautiful.
Well, thanks,
Steve?
guys. Yeah, no, that one's almost done.
Steve, get a haircut, will you?
No,
I
keep
actually-
it.
Oh, keep it.
Look at this tight fade. This is my other COVID skill is I've been cutting my own hair.
Dude, me too. It's the best.
You guys
You
keep
know.
talking about tape hiss. I'm gonna go fish. Okay.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
fish.
All right.
Catch us a salmon.
Yeah,
No,
catch
it
us
don't-
and show us a photo this time.
Thank you, boys.
See you. Thanks,
Steve Marriner.
Steve
Thank you.
Marriner. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Great to talk with you guys. Thanks very much, and stay well. And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, me
Thanks
too,
so
man.
much.
See you, Liam.
Oh, bye, Sean. Bye, Steve. We'll see y'all later.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Thank you all.